Hello everyone. I just thought I'd make a little video. I can see that. I'll tell you the story with that. About 20 years ago, I went for an MRI scan, and as it was coming near enough to the end of the scan, the middle finger on my right hand started to feel hot, and I rubbed it with the finger next to it. I thought to myself, there's a lump on my finger. Then all of a sudden it felt as though something was going to like burst through the skin. As I was about to say something through the microphone, that's it, the test was finished. So when I got out, I says to the woman, I says, my finger's burning. I said, and it felt like something's going to pop through the skin. She looked, she went, it looks as though you've got a bit of metal embedded. She went, do you have any idea? And I was thinking, and then I thought, about 4 or 5 years previous, so 25 years ago, I remember I was in the garage and I was trying to knock a bush out of a wishbone, and I had a little metal hammer on top of the bush, and I was hitting it with another metal hammer. Well, I remember as I'd done it, I got this sudden pain and I went, ouch, and I swore. When I looked, that finger was bleeding down the side of the knuckle. So I assumed a bit of metal, because you're not supposed to strike a hammer against a hammer. But I assumed a little bit of metal had like shot off the hammer, here is, cut my skin, fell on the floor. So it appears 5 years later with the MRI, that wasn't the case. It was a case of the metal had actually went in and stayed in. So the lady nurse said to us, go along to A&E. She says they might be able to take it out for you. So I walked along, this is in the RVI. So I walked along, and A&E was absolutely chocker. There was people with bandages, people covered in blood. And I thought, well, this isn't important. I'm not going to take time up when they've got a lot more to be dealing with. So after a couple of days, the bit of swelling and all that had went down, and the little bit lump. And it went totally out of my head until Tuesday just gone. I woke up in the morning, and as I went in the bathroom to brush my teeth, I went pick the brush up. Well, obviously that finger catches against that, on the knuckle. And I thought, what the hell? And when I looked, there's a big red, I'm saying big, it wasn't big, but there was a lump. And it was all red, inflamed. Well, I had an appointment with me GP that morning. So when I went and seen him, I showed him my finger. And he says, go up the QE. He says, and get them to have a look at it. Because I had explained about the metal 25 years previous. So I went up, seen triage nurse, waited. They called us back through. They took 2 x-rays. Had to go back in the waiting room. They called me back through. The lady showed me the x-ray. She went, yeah, there's metal there. And she asked me the story, so I explained it to her. I said, so can you just like put a little cut and pull it out? She went, unfortunately, we can't. Because you've got nerves, you've got tendons, etc. in your finger. Now, I may have this wrong, but I think she said the ulnar side, which is sort of the right hand side of the finger, and the radial side. She went, you've got nerves run both ways, like both sides. So she went, if you take out, sit in the waiting room, she said, I'll try and get you an appointment at the RVI. And so, okay. So I waited maybe half an hour. And the nurse came back out. She went, right, I've managed to get you an appointment at the Plastics Hand Clinic in the RVI. So that was for the following morning, which was Wednesday, yesterday. So I went over, I got there for about 20 to 11. I only waited 5 minutes, they called me in. And they had a look, they examined it. She says, right, go back in the waiting room, we'll call you to see the doctor. So I waited maybe half an hour. They took us in and I seen this young doctor. Funnily enough, his name was James. So when the nurses were saying James, we didn't know who was talking to. Anyway, he had a look and he was checking the x-rays. Then his gaffer came over and asked him different questions. What would you do? How would you do this? Blah, blah, blah. He went, right, he says, there's a couple of options. He says, we can leave it. He went, and it may find its way back out, back down to where it had been settled. He says, we can cut you open and hopefully try and get it out if we can find it. I says, right. He went, or he says, we'll leave it and it might find its way at the top of the skin and burst through itself. I says, right. He went, but if we leave it and it subsides, he says, that's not saying it's not going to come back next month, next year, 10 years, whatever. I says, okay. I says, so can we go ahead and make an arrangement to cut my finger and get it out? He says, yes, this was at 20 past 11, 20 past, 25 past 11. He went, go and have yourself a cup of coffee. I went, pardon? He says, go and have yourself a cup of coffee. And he says, and maybe something to eat. I went, I've had no eat since yesterday. I says, and nothing to drink since 7 o'clock this morning. I was told not to. He went, no, he says, you go, have something to eat, have a cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever you want. He says, then go up towards, I think it was 39 on the 3rd floor, or ward 38. I went, right. He says, be there for 12 o'clock. I says, no bother. So I nips the Subway and I has a quick cup of coffee, a Snicker and a Twix. Then I goes to the ward. Gives the lady this blue pouch what they had gave us. And believe it or not, I sat and sat and sat until 5 to 4. Then the call through, I was the last one. There was 6 were in the bay, I was the last one. Then they took us in and it was James who was going to operate. So this lady nurse or whatever she is, theatre staff anyway, she's talking to us. I says, are you trying to talk to us to take my mind off him sticking the needles in? She went, yeah. I says, it's not working. I says, because I can feel the needle. So he must have given us about 4 needles or whatever. And I'm just lying there and closing my eyes. And this lady doctor comes in. And she introduces herself. She's above James. She just wanted to observe. So, oh, sorry, I digress. Sorry, I come back to when I was speaking to them downstairs. When the guy was giving us the options. He says, have you banged your finger in the last few days? I went, no, nothing. He says, have you had any symptoms, COVID, infections, whatever? I went, well, I says, I was ill about a fortnight ago. I says, I tested positive for COVID. I went, but then 2 days later, I tested negative. He went, right, he says, that explains it. I went, that explains it? He says, yeah. He says, you've had an infection. He says, basically, he says, foreign bodies. He went, they've made their way to the piece of metal, which is a foreign body in your body. I went, all right. He says, well, that's made, because the metal has been there that long, it's made it want to move to get away from these foreign bodies. He says, so it's looking for a way to get back out. Right. So I'm lying there and I've got my arm out, blah, blah, blah. And James is talking away to this coloured doctor saying, I'll do this, and she's agreeing with him. And I'm just listening. He says, right, I'm going to start now. Do you want to watch? I went, no, thank you. So he's cutting. And he went, there it is. So I'm thinking, oh, mint. He's funded already. Pull it out, stitch, gone. As he's moving, he says to this other doctor, he went, I've got a bit of a problem. Oh, well, my ear's pricked up. And she's looking, she went, right. I says, what's the matter? Concerned, obviously. And she says, because of the length of time the metal's been in, you've had bits of muscle and tissue growing around it and onto it. She says, so as the metal's coming up, it's pulling the tissue. She says, so I'm going to have to cut bits of the muscle away from the metal. And what seemed like ages and ages, in reality was probably about 5-6 minutes. She went, that's it, done. And this nurse showed us this bowl. Honestly, there was this little piece of metal. If you imagine a match head, the head of a matchstick, the red glycerin, if you imagine something about the quarter of the size of that, because I didn't have my glasses on, I couldn't see it. That's how small it was, honestly. And the nurse pointed to it with this long metal probe thing. And she moved it. I went, I says, I can see something. I went, it's tiny. Well, anyway, that's what caused all this. So the stitch is up. He says, right. He says, keep your dressing on for 10 days. I went, I can't change the dressing. He went, I'd prefer you to keep this one on. He says, because you're stitched inside and outside. He went, so I've packed it where it'll limit how much you can bend the finger. So that's why it's all big and bulky, you know. So I can bend these fingers, but there's not much bend in that one. So I says, okay. So they sent us back to the bay, and I was having a coffee waiting for discharge papers. And this staff nurse come in, she went, right, you're supposed to come back in 10 days for your stitches. She says, unfortunately, it falls on a weekend. She went, could you come in on Monday the 19th? I went, yeah. I says, could I not go to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, which is closer? She went, no. She says, James, the lad who done it, she says, he would actually like to take the stitches out himself so he can check movement, etc. I said, all right, no bother. So I goes home and I'm thinking to myself, the antibiotics what he give us, I've left them. So I phones up, gets put through the ward. I explains that I've left the tablets there. Right. I says, can I just come over and get them tomorrow? She went, yeah, that's absolutely fine. She says, come up to the ward. She says, they'll be at reception. So I went out this morning and I've got the tablets. So I've got to keep this dressing on until the 19th. And because I cannot bend his finger, I'm very, very limited as to what I can do. You know, I cannot hold a pen. I can't hold a knife to cut something, like a knife and fork to cut something, which means pretty much for down the allotment, I'm sort of knackered. There's not a lot I can do because I am right-handed. So I thought, we've had frost through the night, I need to go and down and check on me seedlings. You know, the Ailsa Craig onions, Riceburg, etc. Because I hadn't put the lid over the propagator for a couple of days. I thought, it'll be freezing. So I thought, I'll go down, I'll put the log burner on, I'll get some heat all the way through, and then I'll put the lid back on the propagator. So, as you can see, the log burner's on. I've put the lid on the propagators. So that is basically as much as I can do. So I was bored stiff last night. So I was catching up on YouTube, and it is murder trying to use your laptop and not having the use of this finger and would have been so big and bulky, it gets in the way. You know, with dragging your cursor and things like that. Hey, that was an experience. So I thought, oh, I'm going to have a look on eBay and Amazon. And then I went back to YouTube. And I thought, oh, I'm going to buy myself a chainsaw. Now, Ian from the plot next door had gave us the one that he got given at work. Petrol one. And it leaks bar oil, constantly leaking. Once you start it, it pours out. So that's in bits in my shed at home. So I thought, I'm going to buy a battery one. So all my power tools, what I use for work, are DeWalt. So I thought I'll buy a DeWalt saw, which means my batteries will all fit. So I went on Amazon and I've ordered this. It's a 30 centimetre, so I think it's about a foot long, the blade. I've ordered that. That's coming on Saturday. And I've been online to Veneda. That's who I buy my batteries from. I buy replacement batteries instead of buying the DeWalt ones. So I'm getting two 8AH batteries for 50 quid. An 8AH battery, DeWalt, just a single one, is over 100 quid. Now, I've been using the Veneda batteries for about 5 years now. And I actually consider them to be better than the DeWalt ones. So if anybody uses DeWalt tools, Makita, Milwaukee, Black & Decker, Veneda batteries do replacement batteries to fit most types. So I'll put a link in the description box to Veneda batteries. As I said, they're really, really good batteries, and they're a hell of a lot cheaper than what the proper batteries are. You know, I'm using at the moment 6AH batteries for my power tools for work, and I think I paid about £33 for one, and a 5AH battery DeWalt was 90 odd quid. So I used, on a test, I just put it on my polisher, full speed, and just press the trigger and lock the trigger in, let it go. A 5AH DeWalt battery and two 2AH DeWalt batteries. So that's nine AH batteries. Amp hours. And the 6AH Veneda battery ran for a half an hour more than those three combined. So to me, the Veneda batteries are better quality. So I've ordered two of them batteries because I thought the chainsaw, it's going to sort of suck the power out of your batteries. So I thought I'd go with a slightly bigger battery and I'll get a couple. So I'm looking forward to getting that and trying it. They've got decent reviews, you know. So if it's any good, well, it's any good. But I can still use it at work when if I do grave tidy up. Sometimes you get them, the very old graves, you've got trees starting to grow through them. It'll need to cut them, things like that. So that was a little present to myself because I was feeling a little bit down, we'll say. Because I love being down here and just pottering. You know, if I can't do outside, I'll mess on the shed or the greenhouse. At the minute, I can't do that. So I was feeling down, so I thought I'll treat myself. And today, if you've seen a video of what I put out early on, today is my puppy's first birthday. He's 1 year old today. I love him. He's awesome, honestly. He's a beautiful dog, and he's not people friendly. He's not dog friendly, but he's Jimmy friendly, you know. And as I say, I wouldn't swap him for the world. So happy birthday, Bryn. I'm debating on whether to treat myself to anything else. But I want to catch up on a few more videos. Tony Smith made a video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, early hours, because he couldn't sleep. I'm like that. I take tablets to help me sleep, and sometimes I might only get 1 or 2 hours sleep. Once I wake up, I'm awake. So I sit and I watch YouTube. Well, Tony was at his wit's end. He was bored and this and that and the other. So I like to look, you know, at Tony's, the right pair plot, the veg plot thickens, the veg plot man, you know, Michael's plot. There's just so many I like to watch and keep up to date with their videos, because you never know everything, you know. You're always learning. Special mention to Jamie. Lovely chicks, Jamie. And never forget, always ask questions. Doesn't matter if it seems silly to you, ask questions. People will answer you. You will get some people, like I've seen them on the groups on Facebook, they tend to take the mickey out of people, or they'll put stupid comments in reply. On this side of YouTube, you don't. Everyone is helpful. You know, it doesn't matter who the channels are. The channel owners are really helpful. People that comment in the comment section are helpful. So always ask questions, Jamie. And speaking of that, I've got some, if you're watching this anyway, when we're speaking about plastic, I've got some grey plastic, if that's any help to you for your chicken coop / shed. It's brand new, never been used, and you're more than welcome to it, mate. Anyhow, I'm going to end this here. I'm going to stoke the fire up a bit more, and then I'm going back home. So, have a great day, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and hopefully I'll be making another video where I can actually do something and this isn't a hindrance. So once again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.